Mr. Max. Thank you very much, Mr. Max. It was really great and amazing in Nairobi. We are taking the agrobiodiversity and agroecology training course, and really we've seen we've got a lot of experience. One, we've been able to meet with some farmers, at least 173 eastern parts of Kenya, been able to interact with them, talk on what they're really doing, and they're really doing amazing work. And we noted that these farmers have got the solutions for the problems, especially in the field, because most of the times they're the ones working directly with their soils, with taking care of their animals, and realize that it's only that sometimes they need maybe like an experienced person to help them find solutions for themselves. So it was really an amazing experience, and we really looked at how we can really work with nature and also use a nature-based solution to manage ecosystems. Yeah, it was really interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Max.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gerald. I now see Dr. Leju has joined and some other few colleagues, but we are, and we want very dearly welcome Dr. Leju and the team from South Sudan. We are giving our colleagues some time to join because this is a very important presentation. I know that there is another contradicting meeting where some people are attending physically. That is where the numbers are trickling slowly. I'm not whether they will join. That's my hope. So let's try to give ourselves kindly some 4 minutes, and we shall take a decision to proceed if others are not joining. I know that the other 2 meetings are really also, one is on climate smart. So it could be challenging in terms of how people are connecting if they're in a hotel and sometimes they fail to get. Personally, I'm in Accra and it's 7 o'clock now, but this is an important meeting for me. Okay, so let's give ourselves some short time.
Max.
Can you rename, first of all, can you rename your gadget to show your name?
Okay.
By just right-clicking on your name, then you put the proper name so that we know. Asante. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Just renaming. Then now we have to start. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and could we, for purposes of moving together, mute our mics for those who are not speaking? May we mute so that we have harmony in the house. Thank you very, very much. So again, I want to welcome all of you to this important experience sharing under the East Africa Field School Hub, hosted by African Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services, AFAS. As you know, AFAS is a continental organization which is responsible for extension and advisory services in the continent and working with other very important partners across the continent. And we also link with the Global Forum for Advisory Services. And at the continental level, we have partners at at FARA and the SROs and others. We also want to say we work very closely with the FAO, FAO, and they are the supporters kindly of the East Africa Field School Hub, with, of course, the national governments who are seeing the role of field schools as very pertinent in their way of delivery of services to the farmers, both smallholder and others. So this morning, we're very, very privileged that we have our guest, Dr. Leju, who is also the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Agriculture in South Sudan, Agriculture and Livestock in South Sudan, who is going to share with us the experience in how South Sudan, as you know, no longer a young country, but how it is moving on with the way of delivery of the services to the smallholder farmers in a resilient way, and most importantly, using the farmer field school approach. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's always a norm that in our setting, we shall have an opening prayer, and for purposes of introductions, what we shall do is to do the chat. You tell us your name and where your country, and also drop for us the email address so that we can be able to follow up. So with this, I want to call upon Kalisa to give us a prayer in any language of his preference. Then we shall continue. So Kalisa, a prayer from you.
Mungu Baba, tunashukuru asubuhi hii kwa tunaingia katika hii webinar. Tunaombea kila mtu atakayefanya kazi. Tunaomba baraka zako ziwe na sisi na tumalize kazi vizuri ya leo. Tunaomba katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Amen.
Asante sana Kalisa, asante kwa prayer hiyo. So as I mentioned, first of all, my name is Max Olupot. I work for the African Forum for Agriculture Advisory Services as a director of programs. Yeah. But I am also very highly privileged.
How do I get
oh, doctor is there trying to call his team. Oh, now, so you see now I was saying Dr. The PS is not here, but the DG himself is in the room. Dr. Leju, my own. Now when I saw him, I got excited and I thought it was the undersecretary, but the DG himself is in the room. I don't know who is making the presentation. Is it you, the DG, or somebody else?
Dr. Etilio is presenting the presentation, please.
Okay,
Agustino.
so where
Agustino.
hey, oh, Agustino is in the room. Thank you very much. Oh,
that's right.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank
He's
you.
doing that. Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you. Asante sana.
So
share from there.
Yeah, but we will share from you there. Max?
Yeah?
I hope we will share from you there. You'll present it, you put it on the screen, then we'll follow it from here.
Oh, he didn't send me the presentation. Could he send to me in my email?
No, she's sending, she sent you the presentation. Mary has sent the presentation to you.
The presentation, I've sent it to Edwin.
Send it to me because I'm not sure Edwin is, my email is here on the chat. Yeah. Just see.
Okay.
So muted now. Can I?
Oh, Sharon, but oh yeah, just send to me.
There are so many meetings. I'm supposed to attend meeting.
As I said, I'm also multitasking. I'm also in another meeting. So let me be monitoring. While I think the best way to spend this time is, since we are not many, is to go with a round of introductions. So while I receive the email, let me start the introduction of the master trainers who are working with the Farmer Field School. Let me start with the pastor who just prayed. Kalisa.
Absent.
Yes, Max. Yes. What do you say, dear Max?
I was saying that as I put the presentation, could you introduce yourselves as master trainers first? As I set the presentation. Okay, Kalisa, if it's not possible, that don't worry. Now I'm even ready. So
no, I'm ready. Sorry, I'm ready, but you have been lost. You.
They're present. Have you seen the
Yes.
How is it on the screen now?
So Kalisa, what we do?
Yes.
We shall do the introductions
yes,
later. Let's now just give a chance to Agustino and Dr. Leju to make a presentation from Sudan. So I would like to very sincerely call upon my own Agustino and Dr. Leju for them to start off with this presentation. I know the members will join, and for the interest of the goodness of this presentation, we shall also make a repeat of the same next time with a number of other stakeholders. But for now, we should proceed. So I want to hand over to Dr. and Agustino for you to take us through. Over.
Thank you, Max, very much. And good morning and good afternoon to all of you. Do you hear me? Good morning to all of you.
Very well. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, please, because my voice is not up to date, so I'm requesting
what you do, Prof?
Yes.
What you do, Doctor, is just pull your computer closer to you a bit, just by pulling like this. then you will be very visible. Agustino is visible. You can pull your computer just to make your head come up. More? Yes, exactly. Yes. No, it's
right.
again.
That's
again too much a bit. You can draw it a
This
little.
one, go.
There you are. Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
like that.
Very good. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent, doctor.
Thank you very much. So I'm asking Agustino to present our presentation, please. Agustino.
Bonjour, tout le monde. Good morning, everybody. Max, I want to greet you in a very special way because it's quite a long time since we met last during the extension week. But the last one we were not able to make it because of the corona. So now, I'm going to make the presentation on behalf of Dr. John Canisio, the Undersecretary for the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. He has traveled to Torrid for another important duty. So he asked me and Dr. Leju to try our best to make the presentation. So the presentation is on the Resilience Field School, a case of South Sudan. This presentation has been put together with the partners who are actually implementing the farmer field school in their project locations. And we have success stories from different corners of the country. So we are able to put them in one slide. So next slide, Max.
Yeah.
Yes, this is briefly South Sudan. As we all know, South Sudan is a very large country, and it's bordering Sudan in the north, and then we have Ethiopia and Kenya in the eastern part of it, and then Uganda, south of. Then DRS Congo is southwest, then Central African Republic. We have 10 states and 3 administrative areas. So in these 10 states, we have partners who are implementing projects on either behalf of the government or on behalf of the donor community. So they have components of extension in their project. And then Farmer Field School is coming up very clearly in some of the projects. So with the master trainers that we have in Juba, who are trained before in Uganda, they are actually trying to backstop most of the projects in terms of updating the concept of farmer field school so that the NGOs can conduct them professionally and to the success. So the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Livestock, these are the 2 key ministries who are actually doing extension services in the field. And we have a very clear mandate. Our mandate is actually to transform agriculture, livestock, and fisheries from subsistence system into modern and sustainable science-based, market-oriented, and competitive profit farming system. And as well as our mandate is to protect the livestock from disasters, from diseases, and from conflicts, as well as we have to promote the livestock investment in the country. And it is actually a vice mandate that the 2 ministries has. So we are working together towards food security in the country. And South Sudan have also conducted the rapid food system assessment last time. And we also participate in the United Nations summit on food systems. So the two ministries are working very closely. That's why I'm now presenting on behalf of the Undersecretary and the Minister of Agriculture. Next. Yeah, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, as well as the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, we are actually working towards building and strengthening resilient feed school in the country, as well as pastoralist feed school in the 10 states of South Sudan, plus the 3 administrative areas. It's not only in the states, it is actually cascaded down into our counties, payams, and even the level of boomers. These are our administrative structures in the country, because we have partners who are present in most of these states and different locations of the country. So our task is actually to backstop them, to support them, so that they will be able to build up resilient feed schools. And this has been ongoing. And actually, one of the key documents that helps us to implement farmer feed school and give us the legal mandate is the Comprehensive Agriculture Master Plan. The Comprehensive Master Plan is actually the government document in which we spell out very clearly the intentions of the government to advance agricultural development towards market-oriented agriculture. And then we have the NALEC, as all you know, we have National Agriculture and Livestock Extension Policy. This policy needs to be updated because we gave the policy 5 years to be reviewed, and now it is due for review, but it has been very helpful because it has captured the concept of farmer feed school, and based on that, most of the donors are using the document actually to implement farmer field school and pastoral field school in their project locations. So through CAM, which you call Comprehensive Agriculture Master Plan, which is our framework, the Ministry of Agriculture and the other line ministries, plus our United Nations agencies and the donors, we are all using these two documents actually to promote the concept of farmer field school in the country. So farmer field school is alive despite the conflict across the country, despite a lot of disasters in the country, despite the poverty and food insecurity, but farmer field school is still alive, and we are trying to make it much more stronger with the support of AFAS and the other donors. Next. Well, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and our partners, we continue to promote farmer field school as one of the key extension methodology used by farmers in different agroecological zones. We know 7 agroecological zones, and sometimes we call them livelihood zones. This is how the country has been mapped up into these zones, and some of the farmer field school are suitable in certain locations, and agro-pastoralist field school are also fitting in other locations. Depends on the agroecological zone. Like we have the Asan area, which is the dry and the eco system is very fragile, like in Papoita. And there's numerous farmer field schools across the country, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, through one of the biggest projects, which is called ZBIT. ZBIT is a zonal effort for agriculture transformation, Bahar Ghazal agriculture development. And this is under the South Sudan Rural Development Programs by the European Union. They have rolled out so many farmer field school and farmer field school and agro-pastoral field school, supporting the vulnerable groups and smallholder farmers and cotton keepers. So it has been implemented widely through this project, which is very big in the country. Next. One of the activities in those farmer field school is actually the distribution of inputs, because people are very, very vulnerable, and because of the continuous crisis, there's a need for humanitarian support. So seeds and the market failure could not be able to support farmers through market system. So distribution of inputs is done by the Ministry of Agriculture through the partners. So we have seeds and tools always distributed to farmer field schools to the beneficiaries, so that they will be able to carry out agricultural activities. As well as we also provide vaccines and drugs to pastoralist field schools. So most of these inputs are actually improved seeds. And yes, okay. They've gone ahead. Max, by one slide. Yes. So all this are done through the facilitation by the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Livestock, using the experience of our able agency, which is the FAO, and some other donors. So move next. This is double. You've gone 2 slides. Yes. Max, of course, these are just background. Going very fast. Okay. Now let me go to the specific. We have one success story, which has actually been appreciated by most of our donors. This is a project called PLEBS. PLEBS is pastoralist, livelihood, and education project. It is actually for field schools. It's called PLEBS, pastoralist, livelihood, and education field schools. It's an integrated approach where we have the livelihood aspect of the project and the educational aspect of the project. So it is targeting 3 different groups in the cattle camp. One group is children, and they are undertaking the numeracy literacy. They have their own curriculum, and the teachers, they are actually pursuing the numeracy and literacy part of the project. Then we have the youth, who are always involved in conflicts and cattle wrestling and kida. So now they are actually have also another components of the projects, which is dealing with the enterprises, giving them the skills and giving them the jobs, so that they will be able to engage in other diversified livelihood opportunities. So this is one of the components. The last component is for the elderly people who are actually herding the animals. So these ones are given actually the field schools, where they discuss different subjects of interest to promote the field schools in their areas. So this project has been actually piloted in one of the states, and it has been very, very successful. Now, the issue of how this project can be actually maintained, and other concepts and other ideas have been actually included in the project. and they are very innovative. They have village saving and loan associations or so. This concept is actually making the project more sustainable because they are able to generate some funds for the upkeep of the field schools and also for improving their own life. So this is very important. Yes. Okay.
I guess doctor is on phone, so I think you proceed.
Yeah, it's okay now. Now, as I've said, one of the innovative approach of the VSLA, which has been very, very helpful, and especially the women group, they appreciate this approach very much. And now we are moving towards digitalizing the VSLA using some applications and some gadgets, and this now being under development with the support of the partners. Also, some activities of value addition are actually engaged, like groundnuts processing, the fish processing, and many other commodities. And we have what they call milk bar. Milk bar, a group of women in the cattle camp were actually organized so that they will be able to collect milk from different cattle camps, bring them to the center, try to add value to them, and it's open up like a bar. People come and drink fresh milk there if you want yogurt and all this kind of thing. These are all part of the farmer feed school. So I think that feed school is very, very helpful in the area. And now we are thinking of replicating the same in other states. Now, climate smart agriculture has been introduced, and many other practices started to promote and diversify the field schools. So these are our experiments in South Sudan, where we wanted to find out our unique kind of approach that is context specific. Yes. Okay. Okay. You are not muted. Now, can we continue? There's a bit of interruption here and there, but all is good. Max, can we continue? Next slide. Yes, these are some of the pictures of field schools. You can see demonstration is going on some of the technologies, some of innovations in the field where they are trying to, these are communities from the cattle camp. These people are not used to growing vegetables and some of the crops, but now they are being introduced through the field schools, and now they are picking up because it generates some money for the families to improve their nutrition, pay for their schools, and they're happy.
Sorry, Agustino, do you have another gadget near you, or the phone or something like that?
Yeah, there's let me remove one computer because the technology is just close to me.
Oh, and, okay, yeah.
And we need to, it's echoing, huh?
Yes. The echo.
Okay, excuse me, let me just put one computer off.
Okay. You can keep yours then for doctor. He will as you are talking, he will be listening, and if he wants, he can join you. Okay.
Yeah, no, you can. Can we? Let's leave this one. Or can leave this one? Yes, Mark. Max,
Very
we
good.
are now together. We join one computer.
That's
Sorry
good.
for
Thank you.
the inconveniences of this
Sorry.
technology.
Don't worry. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic,
Proceed.
fantastic. Now, as I've said, these two pictures are actually very clear evidence of what the field school is doing. And a group of women from the cattle camp, and the other one is a group of men from the cattle camp, and this is a mixed group, and the other one is also purely women group. Now they are actually, these are field schools. These are two different field schools. They are trying to do something in the field. As you know, in the field schools, the garden is the classroom. So this is just to show you that we are actually helping women to transfer technology. Next. Next, yes, this is the same thing. Some of the community animal health workers are being trained, and then the extension workers are being trained on plant protection and also livestock protection. And now this is part of the training so that they will be able to take care of their fields. Though the field school is discouraging the use of chemicals, this is a mixture of some, if you can see, the mixture of some of herbs locally prepared here. Though chemicals are also being used in some occasions, but the idea is actually to promote an integrated pest control. You see now they have very beautiful crops like peanuts and granules. Yes, next. Yes, now this is purely pastoralist field school. As we can see, there are success stories, and there are actually special cases in which children in the field schools who are now speaking English very, very well, and they appreciate, and they are doing some small mathematics, small calculations for their produce and for the milk produce, for the crops that they have harvested, the vegetables that they sold, because they are actually taught in a way that they will be able to acquire knowledge and skills, which happened exactly. Now, the example of the PLIFs is been actually taken up by so many partners now, because now they are integrating education and livelihood in one field schools. We had an exposure to Kenya to see their example and compare to us. I think we are doing very well, and our example is now taking roots. Literacy, numeracy, life skills, basic skills, and entrepreneurship are coming together in the cattle camps. Next. Yeah, this is just to show you that the logical framework and the chain theory that we have for the projects, which most of the field schools are following, so that we'll be able to target resilient pastoral livelihood. We have that's the impact. We have outcomes like livelihood, security, and empowerment of women, empowerment of young people. And then we have also institutional capacity of the government and who are delivering the field schools. The capacity of the states has been increased, and the empowerment of the groups have been actually realized as an outcome of the field schools. And the outputs are actually the community managed disaster risk reduction, which is done by the community that identify the risk in the areas, and they plan, and then they take actions to mitigate some of the climate hazards in the area. Also livelihood diversification. They are now able to see around their own environment and they see other opportunities rather than looking at animals as the sole source of income. Now they are able to use their natural resource and the other opportunities to economic, to rural economic opportunities to improve their incomes. And then we have also skill transfer. So these are the basic outputs under the livelihood security and empowerment. And then we have the CLIPS model, which we developed, and this is an institutional capacity in which the two are pulled together. We have UNICEF, we have UNESCO on the side of the education, we have FAO on the side of livelihood, but led by the government, the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Livestock, and the Minister of Education. All of us actually coordinate our effort and build the synergy to be able to have very strong institution to deliver this kind of feeder schools in the country. So we have the coordination mechanism, we have meetings, we have knowledge sharing, and so that to keep up the project moving and the activities actually moving. So we have number of activities underneath of the outputs, and these activities have been conducted, and actually they help us to realize the resilient feeder school and resilient pastoralist livelihood feeder schools. So this has been our the change theory that we have been actually using under the PLIPS, which is the pastoralist livelihood and education field schools. Next. Now, this is just a summary of what I've just said. This is what we are doing, and as I've said, it's a combination of partners, and the ministries, Minister of Agriculture is taking lead, and the Minister of Livestock and the Minister of Education, and we are supported by partners, the FAO and UNESCO. And then also we have implementing partners like the Norwegian People Aid and so many other partners, plus the IIRR. They are very, very instrumental in CMTRR. They train a lot of communities and the facilitators on community managed disaster risk reduction. Because these days we are seeing so many changes. The climate change is impacting very much on the livelihood of the people. So they need the skills to mitigate all these kind of disasters. Next. Yes, you can see now women are trying to use some of the tools to identify the major problems that they experience. And these are some of, on the other side, you see kettles have been given water, provide the water they need in this most dry area. This is some of the achievement of the project, so that the feeder school will succeed, because without making these provisions, you will not bring the mind of the people together. So this one has actually made them to be happy to water their animals, and also at the same time they will be able to have time to listen to or to join their groups, and the children to join the schools. Next. Yes, now, as we have said, the literacy has improved very, very much. We have examples, and we have a video that will testify that actually there was an impact on the life of the children. And after the children finish those field schools in the cattle camp, now they can join the formal education in the nearest Payam or the nearest county to continue with their education if the parents are ready to do so. But generally, they were able to have the literacy and numeracy in their mind open up to be able to do something for their own community. So the conflict also in the cattle camp, you know, South Sudan is very prone for conflict, especially the cattle raiding. I think last week or by last week but one, we had a very big conference in the country here on cattle raiding and migration related conflict. This is a major hindrance to our development and transformation of livestock and commercialization of livestock in the country. So people gather together to actually try to find out way out how to address this conflict. But in the field schools, we have seen that people are now beginning to realize that conflict is actually bringing them back. They are not able to advance and improve their livelihood because of the conflict. So through these field schools, they were able to build a kind of very strong, peaceful coexistence. And some of the community begin to live in harmony with one another. And also, we know the country is also experiencing a lot of disease outbreaks among the livestock. So many because of the movement of livestock due to conflicts or due to climate change. There's a lot of movement of livestock across the country and even across the borders. So due to that, there's a lot of disease outbreak. So during the clips, the pastoral field schools, they were trained how to take care of their animals, and the vaccines and drugs were provided. And we have seen that there's a reduction in the movement of some of the livestock, and also reduction in the mortality and the morbidity of livestock. Nutrition of the communities has improved because their livestock begin to increase production of milk, and the vegetables is now available for the communities to enjoy. And also these are the communities who are living in the floodplain and near the rivers. They are also able to make some catches, fish, and all these ones are actually high value proteins, and they're full of vitamins and minerals to improve the nutrition of their people in the field, in the field schools where it is located in the cattle camps. Next. Yes, as we have said already, the livelihood has been diversified, the source of income has improved. The cover is a VSLA, of course, and IGA. These are some of the things that have been introduced in the field schools, whether in the pastoral field school or farmer field schools. So it has improved actually the livelihood of the people because income has improved, and they were able now to improve their livelihood. So the institutional capacity of the communities and the mobile communities are also now having some few gadgets to communicate with one another. The telecommunication infrastructure now being distributed across the country. They are able to communicate and organize their movement. The pastoralism is actually about transhumance, that is moving animals from one location to another. So we are now mapping their routes, and we are able now to target them and improve our field schools. The field schools, the PLIPs have actually developed curriculum for all the three levels, for the children, for the young people, and also for the field schools. So curriculum has been developed, and with the support of FAO and UNESCO, they were able to have this small curriculum and small notebooks, textbooks for the children, and it helps a lot to improve the field schools and the livelihood of people. Next. Yes, our learning are many, but some of the learning, the strengthening observation capacity and increased knowledge, ownership through discovery-based learning. You see, as you know, we know that the principle of farmer field school is actually to strengthen the discovery-based learning of the people, so that people will be able to learn for themselves and to be able to discover for themselves and to be able to innovate solutions for themselves. And this has been actually very much used. And we have realized that farmer field school and pastoral field schools are actually doing very well if this methodology or this concept is approach is introduced. Self-confidence of the people is beginning to improve, and with especially women, and decision-making capacity in a group has been improved because people now are able to sit together, try to identify their problems together, and make decisions for their livelihood, especially through the CMDRR. So this is some of the lessons that we have seen. Risk has been minimized because people are now working jointly to address the risks and the hazards in their own communities and introduce new practices and innovations. Changing deep-rooted beliefs and practice. You know, there are some beliefs in the communities that are actually deep-rooted, and they need to be changed so that people can be able now to pursue new ways of life. And this has been happening in the cattle camp. The old beliefs that all animals in the world belongs to them is now changing, and they begin to look at their animals differently as a source of income. They're looking at the economic aspect of the life instead of numbers. So these ones are changing, and we are happy in most of the field schools that we participate in. Next, Max. The attitude, of course, of the people has been changed, and they are now using integrated pest management approach, as we have seen from one of the slides, mixing some of the herbs and try to actually spray on their crops so that they will be able to fight the pest. On average, there's a twofold increase actually in the crops, and 40% increase in income. This has been measured through the assessment which was done, and these are indicators that Farmer Field School has actually improved the livelihood of the people through extension services. Yeah, also innovations and technologies has been adapted, and the smart agriculture has now been practiced in some of the field schools, because these are the people who are not actually farming, but now they pick up a new way of doing farming, and also the smart agriculture has been introduced at that level, and they were able to pick it very easily. And we have seen that Farmer Field School is actually doing a lot of achievement in those areas. Next. Yes, we have numerous of challenges. Of course, weather condition is changing very, very much these days. A lot of flood, and most of the communities in the cattle camps are living in the flood plain. These are the areas where flooding is common, but these days the frequency, the intensity of floods is increasing, and sometimes it leads to crop failure, and sometimes it leads to displacement of the communities to higher land. So this has been one of the big challenges to some of the field schools. As I've said, flooding is unprecedented these days. The economy of the country is not stable. There's a lot of inflation. The high rocketing the prices is going up of the commodities. As you know, the country is food insecure, and we depend on imports, which actually affect the livelihood of many people. We have also Corona. Corona has actually destabilized and disorganized some of the field schools for a couple of months, or sometimes some of the projects were not able to see visits from outside for quite some times. Though at the local level, they were actually pursued to continue their activities following the usual instructions on how to protect themselves. Pest and disease is common in the area. That's one of the real threats to the field schools, because these communities are not used to pests and to cropping and gardening. So when the fields are attacked, they become puzzled, they don't know what to do. But with the support of technical support of the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Livestock, they are able now to pick up some of the skills on how to handle these kind of things. We know insecurity in the country. All of us know that there's insecurity, not only insecurity, but there's a conflict, a subnational conflict between communities, and also we have cattle raiding. One community will raid another cattle from other communities. So some of the pastoralists are affected in the field schools because of this raiding. So these are some of the few challenges. There are many, but these are the key challenges that we can share with you that are actually threatening our field schools in the country. Thank you, Max. Thank you very much. I hope I made the presentation. It's a long presentation, but I believe we have made our point. Now we are ready to answer questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Agustino, and the team. Of course, the Undersecretary, we do understand the engagements that come along those positions. And we're very grateful that you and the DG were able to come and share this very valuable experience with us. So, as I mentioned, today, because of a number of other meetings, people got scattered. I've just seen a big meeting in Kenya where most of the people are in the room and they couldn't join. Then another one in Rwanda. So we shall definitely beg that at one point, we shall bring you back to share this very useful experience. But also most importantly is the region to appreciate how a young country, South Sudan, with some challenges in terms of conflicts, is coping up and trying to struggle and make things happen. This is very much appreciated. And indeed, it confirms the topic in terms of the resilience that you, as even the team working over there, is going through, and ensuring that you cushion and you manage to go through some of these issues. I'm also glad that there's some video which we could in future borrow and say we can show the world whenever we have some conferences, for example, the Extension Week. So maybe we could start discussing about those already. The young people who are the drivers of agriculture, you highly elaborated on this. Field schools can mold them, but also make them confident in terms of being the clients of advisory, but also become the advisors. I'm also very interesting to hear about how field schools are helping to resolve some conflicts and making people to live in harmony. Coexistence is very important. And livestock issues are not new to the region. This is not only in South Sudan, but I know also in others. So this is very important. In our cultures in Africa, changing deep-rooted beliefs and practices is a hard thing. Normally, we call it breaking the barriers concept, BBC. So as field schools, through the co-creation of knowledge, learning together, I think this brings, again, a very good atmosphere of changing. And the challenges are also very well articulated. So I would like now to remove the sharing and open the discussion to colleagues here for a few minutes, since we have other meetings to go, and we have also said we shall bring back the team from South Sudan in the subsequent webinar series. So I want, let's have like 5 reactions or 3, then we conclude the meeting for now. Thank you very much. Colleagues, if you have any questions, if you have any, maybe in the chat, or you want to ask directly, or a compliment, a comment, you are most welcome. Yes, Gerald, go straight.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Max. And thanks very much, Doctor, for a great presentation. It's really encouraging. Indeed, I couldn't even want to miss out anything according to the topic for today. And I'm so glad and inspired. I think I've borrowed 2 to 3 things to implement as well as I'm developing the young people to implement this farmer field school. And I've also liked the idea of how you'll be digitalizing. I began digitalizing the VSLA and the value addition. I'm really so inspired, and thanks for the great work.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you, Gerald. I wish you had told us those 3 things that you borrowed, so that we could use them in future. But don't worry, you come back later. So let's go to any other comment. Thank you, Gerald. And of course, digitalization is in the space, and so the field schools is no exception in terms of the digital space that we are moving to, in terms of while providing services to the farmers and also other value chain actors. Any other? Okay, seems the presentation was also clear. We shall put the presentation in a PDF, then share with all of you for you to study. But as I mentioned, we shall bring the team from Sudan, South Sudan back on stage, preferably around November, where we shall have a bigger platform for us to do that. So from where I stand, I think I'm also very impressed again that we're able to get very practical experience from South Sudan. And I would like to assure the team that we really appreciate the work that you do, but also would like to do a lot of networking and ensure that people go to Sudan and support our brothers. Jennifer, for example, was in Sudan, South Sudan for some time. She was training as a master trainer with a number of projects there. And we want to encourage all of us, if you have any project that you could take to South Sudan, feel free. We link up and let's see how we support each other in the region. This is what we want to do in building capacity. We don't believe in giving food, but we believe in giving people a hook so that they can learn how to fish other than giving just a fish. So this is important. So if we don't have any other questions, I would like to ask Agustino and Doctor to make a final comment, and we close the meeting in the next 2 minutes.
Thank you, Max, and all those who have been participating in this presentation. We are so pleased that at least we have explained to you and projected what we are physically doing in the Republic of South Sudan. Of course, we will love trainees who love experts to come and share practically the knowledge that we have had here, so that we can work together as a team in the whole of Africa. But otherwise, we thank you very much for listening, and we still think there will be a lot to share and a lot to find out from the presentation that we have made. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Max, I also wanted to first of all say thank you very much, and all the team, the participants who have joined us today. It has been actually a lovely day for us because sharing experience is actually very pleasing to us. This presentation has been done in a very short time. We are going to enrich this presentation and actually animate it with some good pictures maybe in the next presentation. But otherwise, we need support. This country needs a lot of support in terms of capacity, in terms of ideas, innovations that are coming around. The ideas that came from GIFRAS needs to be actually customized in the country. We wanted to contextualize a lot of things, but sometimes we are handicapped because of the capacity. Sometimes we are handicapped because of resources. So everybody believes that South Sudan is a rich country. We are not. We are not. Sometimes oil is a curse. It's not a blessing. Even if we have oil, but you see many people are very poor. So we need, sometimes we need those kind of support, the technical support, we need financial support. We need to be kept attached to us all the time, because so many things we are missing out. We are missing a lot of things. Now it seems like we are lagging behind. We want to catch up and we want to be part of our champion, the AFAS, and we appreciate the role that you are playing, Max, for keeping us in touch. And we were actually planning that you will be coming to South Sudan to see some of the field schools, and we're very happy. But of course, we know also our limitations and our challenges, but FAO and the European Union was going to do something to help us go to some of the locations. Anyway, all the same, we are very happy and we appreciate this opportunity. This webinar has been an eye-opener for us. We can still do so many other presentations that are relevant to promote field schools and actually to contribute towards the success of AFAS. So we are happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lejo and the Director Agustino. We are really very glad for you to put aside your busy schedule. Some comments as well from Naume. She's very happy that the young people and especially women are very integral in the field schools that you are doing. And indeed, as we know, the women in Africa are the ones that are really drivers of the smallholder farming. So this is also very much appreciated. Kalisa, do you want to make a final comment, and immediately you make your comment, you also pray, then we take a photo.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Max. It was just to say we much appreciate how field school are very useful in South Sudan. Engagement of youth and women is look very interesting, but also I'd like to make a point to the team from South Sudan about the institutionalization of field school. So for sustainability, so it's look they show us about police, about how ministries integrated, but also to emphasize, to make a key point on how is linked with existing extension model in South Sudan. Thank you. It was just the point.
Thank you very much.
And you asked me to.
Yes, thank you, Kalisto. Kalis is gone. Yeah, thank you very much for your comments about the institutionalization of farmer field school. I think that's a very good one. In Rwanda, I think one of our colleagues, Luis Kayanga, was there. And afterward, I think there was some other follow-up meetings on institutionalization. We shall be sitting and making our own meetings and then come up with what we are going to do in terms of institutionalizing field schools in the country. Because we have not done it, but we have the idea that we want to institutionalize, we want to make it part of our policy, wanted to make it part of our education curriculum, wanted to make it actually sustainable. There's so many other things that we need to do. So we'll be able to sit together look at some document, seek some support from AFAS and all the other colleagues so that we will be able to do some institutionalization. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Over to you, Carissa, a few seconds and we take the photo. So, Agustino, you can put your camera on. Everyone.
Yeah, this camera.
Yeah. Even doctor can put back his computer if he wants.
Yes, you can open it. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Grace. I can see Grace, the real man. Thank you.
You left me in Kigali. You ran away from me in Kigali, Max.
I had to go back and go to Kapiringisa for a national engagement. Then I went to Benin. Now I'm in Accra.
Wow.
Yeah. So Grace, you need to coordinate with the Gerald. We need to hold some small some meeting. So Gerald is coordinating, and Gerald and Jennifer, you need to discuss on that engagement. We need to move. And now May is from the SF. So anyway, let's take the photos. I'm doing the photography because we have to let the directors go.
A minute for Leju.
Oh, okay. Doctor is joining. Thank you. Thank you, Mary, for putting everything quickly with the. We shall come to South Sudan. I'm going to bring Grace to document some experience in South Sudan for like 2 days. So that will be an activity we do together with you.
You're most welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yes. So doctor, put on the video. Now he can click on his video.
Yes. Video.
Thank you.
Click.
Yes, now we can see DG. Thank you. Raise up again, pull a bit. Pull a bit. Yeah, there you are. Don't remain there. There it is good. There it's good. Very good. Now I've even taken the photo now. Finished. And thank you very much. Have a blessed day, all of you. And let's keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Mary.
Oh.
So you can sign off. Sign off. You can just click leave. Very good. Just signing, click leave, then you leave. I will be the last to leave. Next, thank you. This is very good. Thank you.